the Republican debate. Did any of you or are any of you familiar with what's going on with the Republican debate? I know a lot of y'all were tuned into what it is that we were talking about last night, but the beautiful part about restreaming and YouTube and then other platforms is that you have the opportunity to be able to watch it afterwards. I did watch it. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a lot of it and I caught the highlights and I tried to get the best context as I could as far as understanding who was going on, who was running, and what their positions were, right? And I was listening a lot of it on this morning when I was getting ready and when I was driving into the office today. I'm curious, did y'all catch any of the debate yesterday? Ever since my man went on the Breakfast Club, he been in savage mode. Ever since my man went on the Breakfast Club, he's absolutely been on a tear. Good grief. Shout out to y'all. Here's some of the highlights from the debate, and then I'm going to share with you some of the thoughts from the Iowa voters as to what it is that they think about what happened in the debate. Make sure that y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and also on top of that, make sure that you hit that link for the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's rock out.
If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
You see how slow some of these people raise their hands? In my opinion, body language is the best way for you to be able to determine whether or not somebody actually means what they say or how they're communicating effectively with you. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. But he's the first one to raise his hand. Now, it doesn't matter about whether or not he's right or wrong in this instance. It shows that he's able to make a definitive decision and he's not on a fence. He's not trying to field or feel out whether or not other people are on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence or whether or not he can get the audience on his side. He's just saying what he's meaning and he's meaning what he says, and he's the first one to raise his hand. Now, obviously, we know Trump couldn't be a part of this because he's facing 91 charges. 91 charges. Come on, man. If this is not a finesse, I don't know what is. Trump is facing 91 charges. Come on, man. If this ain't a finesse, if this ain't them trying to get him up out of there because they know that he has a certain level of support amongst people, I don't know what is. I told y'all that they was going to come for this man. I told y'all that they was going to come hard. Pause for Trump. But the context of the question in which they asked, would you still support Trump if he was the Republican nominee? And then they all raised their hands. It was based off of, and this is why y'all want to watch the whole thing. I'm showing y'all the highlights, but this is why y'all want to watch the whole thing. It was based off of the idea that every candidate on the stage had signed a pledge that said that whoever it was that was the Republican nominee, they would pledge their support behind them after all of these primaries are done. And so then when he asked the rest of the question, and I'm going to play it again for those of y'all so y'all can get the full context. When they asked the question, would you guys support Trump if he was the Republican nominee? People were slow to raise their hands, and there was even one person that eventually didn't raise their hand. But let's continue. I'm going to play it again for you guys.
In a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
Pence was slow to it. Put their hands down really fast. Vivek is squeezing his hand up.
So just
my man all the way on the left never raised his hand at all, even though he signed the pledge. All right? A lot of these guys just can't read the room.
Governor Christie, you were kind of late to the game there, but
no,
you
I'm doing this.
And I know you didn't.
Whoa. Look, here's the bottom line. Someone's got to stop normalizing this conduct. Okay? Now whether or not you believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong, the conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States.
We have to look at the fact.
I think that Chris Christie made a splash last night. I think that he emerged from the pack to actually have a position and stand on something. And it became more noticeable when everybody else just kind of fell into the background. Now, this woman right here, first of all, I don't even think a woman should be on stage. I know a lot of y'all not going to agree with me, right? I know a lot of y'all not going to stand on that. I know a lot of y'all believe that women's supposed to be in leadership positions to the point to where she's over there negotiating and trying to figure out how it is that she can go against Putin. But I don't believe that this woman can stand up against the Communist Party over in China, that Putin would give her any level of respect, that South Africa would respect her at all whatsoever. I do not believe that this woman in any way, shape, or form, just from the simple fact that she should not be on this stage. I'm sorry, y'all. She should not be on this stage. I'm not even checking for her. I'm not even taking it serious. She seemed like a panderer the entire time. She seemed like she was trying to gain or glean some level of support and visibility and stand out amongst a bunch of men that was besting her all night long. Yeah, I know she was an ambassador. That don't mean nothing to me. I know that she was an ambassador, but that does not mean anything. Somebody said, am I Don Lemon 2.0? No, I'm Anton Daniels, and can't nobody fire me because I don't work for CNN. I don't work for CNN. And if CNN knew what was in their best interest, they would be trying to offer me a bag to do the Millionaire Morning Show on CNN. Come holla at me, CNN. Come holla at me, CNN. Come on, man. Come and get that bag up so I can get y'all ratings back popping. But I don't. I don't think that a woman deserves to even be in certain leadership positions. And that's where I stand. It's funny. You know what's so funny? First, y'all was talking about the fact that y'all like Putin because he's not spineless. And now you want to come against me because I'm standing for what it is that I believe in and saying that I don't think women should be in a position of leadership, that their inherent nature is to be helpmeets, such as what it is that's illustrated inside of the word that I believe in, the Bible. So now that I stand on something, right, y'all looking at me funny and acting like I'm crazy because I don't believe that women deserve or that they should be even in a position of leadership because that's just not their inherent nature. They're nurturers, not monsters. We monsters. And in a lot of instances, we need to be monsters. We have to be monsters because that's what it takes in order to secure your freedom or to secure your protection. Or we have to turn into the very thing that we got to defend you against. But now all of a sudden, you don't want somebody that's spineless. You want somebody with the go along, get along gang. Come on, man. Which one you want? Which one you want? Either you want the person that's going to stand up for what he really stands for, or you want the person that's going to acquiesce over into whatever it is that you feel like at that particular time. Come on, man.
That 3/4 of Americans don't want a rematch between Trump and Biden.
Come on, man. Get that Hillary Clinton outfit up out of here, bro. Get that Hillary Clinton outfit up out of here. Leah said, she seems more competent than Kamala. I don't want Kamala in there either. I don't want Kamala in there either. I do not believe women need to be on the pulpit. I don't think they need to be sitting here negotiating as the president of the United States or vice president for that meaning. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that they should be doing any of this stuff. I believe that they should be butt naked in the kitchen, cooking up that meal and rubbing on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
And we have to face the fact that Trump is the most disliked politician in America. We can't win a general election that way.
Here's the thing. This election is not about January 6th.
I think that DeSantis, he fell flat during the debate. I like him and I like his ability to be able to manage states and what he stand on. But I think he didn't stand out, and I thought that he lost his debate he really lost his debate last night.
2021. It's about January 20th of 2025 when the next president is going to take office.
Look, Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. Now is not the time for on-the-job training. We don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience. We need to bring
Mr. Ramaswamy, you would not support an increase of funding to Ukraine.
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous, that we are protecting against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
Your watch, so the reality is, America less safe. You have no foreign policy.
This is, see, you want this woman over talking you? Do you want this woman over talking you inside of the White House? Do you want this lady with this, I don't even know what color that shirt is or what it is. What the hell is that? Is that a blouse? What is it? Do you want this woman sitting here trying to negotiate with Vladimir Putin, and he going to be looking at her and she looking at him and he looking at her and she looking at him, and he don't have no respect for her whatsoever? Won't even let this man respond at all. I'm sorry, ladies. We just don't look at y'all the same. We don't look at y'all with the same vigor as y'all think that y'all see yourselves. Y'all see yourselves as this big bad bully, and we see you as a little bitty puppy. A little bitty puppy with a small bite. We do not see y'all the same way that y'all see yourselves. That's the honest to God truth.
Policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy experience that you all have shows in the pointless wars we've gotten into. Let us be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax.
I've had enough. I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here. And the last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, "What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here?" was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
This is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Playing the woman card. Playing the woman card all day long. When you start losing, then you go ahead and get the sisterhood on your side. Come on, man. Get this woman up off the stage, bro. I don't even want to see that. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you quoting Margaret Thatcher. I'm not interested. That just shows me that you're not prepared to be the president of the United States. Could you imagine? Could you imagine this woman being the president of the United States, fam? Honest to God. Could you imagine this woman being the president of the United States of America? Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Get this woman up off my stage, bro. I don't want to see that. Well, anyways, CNN, and I'm going to use a completely opposite instead of just showing you the highlights because we got a minimal amount of time and we got multiple subjects to cover. CNN, and which I want to show y'all an alternative platform. And I always believe that if you want to get to the source of something, then you use two comparative platforms in order to illustrate a point. So I'm gonna show y'all what CNN did, and that they polled, or they brought into the room a bunch of people that watched the 2-hour debate, and they got the insight as to what it is that they thought about who really stood out inside of the debate. All right, y'all should go and watch it on your own, become informed voters. Don't just look at the highlights here. I'm just giving you my opinion in particular, but y'all should be informed and go and find out exactly what was communicated during this debate yourselves. But let me go ahead and show that for you guys, and then we're gonna go forward.
Anderson, we come to you from the heart of Iowa, the geographic center, Story County, Iowa, where we're going to tell you the story of this Republican debate from the vantage point of 15 loyal Story County Republicans, all a member of the Story County Republican Club, or the Young Republicans of Iowa. Thank you for letting us be here with you today to watch the debate. Thank you, everybody. All right, we watched all 2 hours.
Hold on, let me profile these people really quickly. You know, we got to do more on a morning show than just hear what people say in particular. All right, so it looks like they told everybody in there, hey, wear your work clothes or wear the thing that you wear, that you look like at 5 p.m. You know, I'm not going for this. I'm just not easily finessed. I'm genuinely not going for this. So look at it. Look. We got a guy with a cowboy hat on in the back. Our Time Is Now t-shirt with some, with the Hoochie Daddy shorts. We got the woman with the with the nursing outfit on, looked like she just came from the hospital. A guy with bell-bottom blue jeans on, that's all the way to the right. We got the frumpy lady in the front with the white shirt on with her stomach sticking out. She not even holding in her stomach. We got the foreigner, the guy that looks like a foreigner, or he's going to be the man of color. Not one black guy is up there, but we got the man of color up there on the left-hand side. His stomach is sticking out. He got the short sleeve shirt on and the hoochie daddy shorts, and he's wearing the typical I'm going to have my toes out, but it's the summertime, but it's cold outside, but I'm still going to be looking like it is that I work at 7-Eleven. All right. You got the nerd that could be pro-life, could not be pro-life. He may stand on something, or he may be a Republican that also believes in supporting the alphabet community. And then next to the lady with the white shirt on that's got her stomach out, you got the guy with the white hair. You got all of the young people in the back, right? They're probably very, very fervent Trump supporters in the back. You got the guy that looks like a hunter. He got the hunter hat on, and then he got the Jesus cross on. If this is not the prototypical, let me put this panel together in order to be able to get these paid actors to be able to have this conversation and communicate their thoughts, I don't know what is, man. Come on, man. Honest to God, bro. Listen, I have not played this before. I'm looking at this. I have to start profiling the same way that I profiled a guy that's got the hoodie on that's walking down the street. That then, that I got to lock my doors or maybe cross the street or go back in the house. No way in the world are you going to convince me that this is not the prototypical, I put this panel together full of paid actors, told them to wear their clothes that they would wear at 5 o'clock when they get off of work so that we can make this more realistic and be able to have a conversation about Iowa voters and what they thought about the Republican debate. Stop it, bro. I'm apt to not even watch what the replies is. I could probably tell you what they going to say before they say it. I mean, I don't know if anybody actually stood out amongst the field. I can't say that I know who I'm going to cast my vote for yet, but I definitely like that this person stood out. I mean, listen, I'm a Bible-loving, Bible-quoting, and I round up hogs for a living, and I'm trying to understand who's going to be the best supporter of my interests down here in Texas. Hey, man, I'm in Oklahoma City, and it's a lot of things that's changing down here, and I'm looking for the right candidate that's going to go ahead and secure our borders because I don't know what's going to become of our children in the future. Hi, I'm a nurse, but I'm definitely a Trump supporter because my husband died in 2021 during the pandemic, and I don't like how it is that they handled the pandemic in order to enable them to be able to go against us, and now they're leveraging all of these things against Trump. I'm looking for the candidate. If Trump doesn't get in office, I don't know who is. Man, I'm telling you, man, I can write this script like never before. I can absolutely write this script like never before. All right, let's see what they got to say. I profiled everybody. Let's see what they got to say.
All right. We watched all 2 hours very carefully. The first question I want to ask all of you, do you think this debate was good for the Republican Party? Raise your hand if you do.
Oh, it was an excellent debate. I'm not sure if we really learned anything any different, but we certainly had some people that stood out of the crowd. It was a good, entertaining debate. I really think that it resonated with the people.
15 people. Looks like 13 raised their hand. You two did not think it was good for the party?
No.
Why not, Jim?
It brought up a lot more division and stuff, but I still think
Typical.
it was worth the time.
Okay, you thought it was good for the party, though.
Yes, it was great for the party. Great to have a conversation with Iowans and people across the United States.
Did I not profile these people correctly? Did I not profile these people correctly? You got the guy with the lisp that got the glasses on, the wireframe glasses that probably got teased in school, but he's definitely a mama's boy, and he's definitely going to stick with the Republican Party. I don't know if it did anything but bring more division. However, it was definitely good for the party to be able to hear the conversation, and I think some people stood out. Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you that I know what's going on here. This is the prototypical, come on, man.
to see who our next leader will be for the Republican Party.
Okay, of these 15 people, 14 say they're still undecided at this point. Jim, who we just talked to,
Did I not say that they were still going to be undecided voters of the Iowa election?
He says he's ready to vote for Trump right now. And here's what I want to ask you about. Who you thought did the best during this debate? Basically, who do you think won the debate? I'm going to do it in alphabetical order to be fair. Anyone think Doug Burgum did the best?
Who?
That's 0. Anyone think Chris Christie did the best? He certainly got most of the airtime. A lot of the airtime, not most of the airtime. How about Ron DeSantis? How many of you think Ron DeSantis did the best? That's 2 people. How about Nikki Haley? 1, 2, 3, 4 people.
Yep, definitely was going to get the women to get on her side. And the ultra forward-thinking progressive conservatives.
Asa Hutchinson? Mike Pence? 0. Vivek Ramaswamy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tim Scott. Okay, so this panel here thinks Ramaswamy won the debate. Tell me why you think he won the debate.
I was reminded of the time when Vivek was talking about the national identity situation.
What a surprise. The one person that's potentially of color on the panel is supporting Vivek. And he comes to him with the microphone. Why do you think that he won? Come on, CNN. Get me on there. Give me my $30 million so I can fix y'all network.
And I know Pence brought up that that wasn't really an issue, but I think it was a generational problem because Vivek understands that young folks don't really understand that people my age don't really love America, and if you don't love it, you can't protect it. And I think if we fix that problem, then people will, as a natural byproduct, want to protect America and what it stands for.
This guy sitting next to you is the mayor of Nevada, the town that we're in. This is Brett Barker. Mayor, you picked Nikki Haley. She came in 2nd place in our informal, non-scientific poll here. Tell me why you think she'd well.
Well, I think out of all the candidates, she really had moments that stood out. I don't think she had moments that harmed her, and she came across as poised and confident and prepared. And I think out of the candidates, I think she helped herself the most tonight.
What did I tell y'all? You know what? Out of everybody, I think that they didn't say anything to hurt themselves, but this person stood out amongst the pack, and she did the thing that didn't hurt her. Listen, I guarantee you that this guy is happy wife, happy life. He's the mayor of a small town. He's probably the former coordinator of the HOA fees. His background stands to be, if you don't pay your HOA fees on time, he's coming to collect, buddy. And if you have one more car in your driveway than what the homeowners association said that you can have in your driveway, I'm coming for you and I'm going to put a lien on your house, buddy. I'm coming for you and I'm going to put a lien on your house, buddy. Mayor of a small town of 200, making sure that we get our HOA fees together, and I like Nikki Haley.
Chris Christie talked a lot. He was anti-Trump. Tell me why you didn't like what Chris Christie had to say.
He was just argumentative, pretty much, and out after Trump.
Listen, ma'am, you and Chris Christie both go to the same donut shop on a regular basis, all right? So I would think that you would align more with Chris Christie than anybody else. Y'all both got the same barber and you both go to the same donut shop. Don't sit here and talk negative about Chris Christie, ma'am. I know a Chris Christie supporter when I see one.
You don't think there was any logic to what he said, though?
I think it was a lot of revenge.
A lot of revenge. Okay. What do you think, any of you, was the big moment of this debate? Any of you have a big moment in mind? This gentleman right here, I'm going to walk over to you. Excuse my reach, Jim. Sorry about that.
Well, are we going to talk to the young guys now? We're gonna get the young people's perspective on what the fuck is going on with these debates.
For me, it was when DeSantis let Vivek get to his right on Ukraine. And if DeSantis' whole goal here is to beat Trump, he's going to have to meet Trump on that issue. And so ultimately, if DeSantis is willing to do that, then I see Vivek as the clear winner there.
So does anyone here, as I was saying, 14 of you were undecided when this started. Are any of you, after one debate, closer to saying, I know who I'm going to vote for? Raise your hand if you're a little bit closer. This gentleman right here, tell me who you're closer to voting for.
Did I profile him correctly?
Or supporting in the Iowa caucuses.
He's either going to go with the woman, Nikki Haley, or he's going to go with Vivek.
There's a few, probably Nikki Haley and Donald.
go with Nikki Haley. Because I'd love to see a woman break through that glass ceiling that Hillary Clinton was beating through, that Kamala Harris is right on the cusp of getting to. And I guarantee you that if it was Kamala Harris or Nikki Haley, I'd probably go with Nikki, but I wouldn't have a problem with Kamala.
Donald Trump. And then also Vivek Ramaswamy, I think that he kind of went in there as a bulldog a little bit, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Who else raised their hand about that? This gentleman right here. Once again,
How
excuse
did
me.
this country get so soft?
Who are you closer to supporting in the caucuses?
So for me, I'm closer to Vivek. I mean, just the more and more I've heard of this guy, I'm one of the people, I knew nothing about him, didn't even know he existed, thought he had a funny name. Then the more and more I've heard of this guy, the more it's like he has good opinions, he has good policies, he says a lot of what he believes, and he's willing to discuss that with people if they disagree with him, and I really respect that. And I think
That's the only guy I like on here. Is the natural bred, blonde-haired, blue-eyed video game player that probably works in corporate America because his father got him a job there, and understand that America is a debtor nation and that he's never going to have to pick up a forklift in his life. He's never going to have to step on a forklift in his life. And he understands it. Listen, I didn't know who this guy was. And his name sounded funny, but the more I listened to him and the more I started to pay attention to his policies, it just made sense. He's more aligned with Trump than I thought he was.
I mean, Chris Christie and Mike Pence had quibbles with him. They thought he was a little programmed. Does that mean anything to you that they said that?
I don't know. I feel like Chris Christie especially is just kind of there to be a human wrecking ball and just kind of knock people out of the race.
This gentleman was nodding his head. Did you think so?
Yeah, I honestly didn't know too much
I didn't even profile this guy. Is this the Brokeback Mountain Cowboy?
Vivek before. I know he's flip-flopped on a couple issues thus far. I appreciated him getting into it with both Pence as well as Chris Christie because I thought they made him look kind of fake and kind of just like he wants to go with whatever the top polling issue is. That's what he wants to do at the time.
Final question for you, and this man...
Why does all white people have lisps?
...wasn't at the debate. His name is Donald Trump. So we wanted to devote most of our time to the people who were at the debate. But how many of you think Donald Trump hurt himself by not being part of this debate? Raise your hand, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of you think he helped himself by not being at the debate? Most of you. Why do you think he helped himself? And this is Deborah. She's the leader of the Young Republicans here, the chapter here, the Iowa Young Republicans. Tell me why you think he helped himself.
I think he helped himself just because he wasn't able to say anything that people would use against him in the general election. And he's able to kind of run off his record and not worry about being seen as bombastic or something negative.
Thank you, Deborah. And thank you, all of you, for talking to us. We really appreciate watching this.
All right, so there you have it. There was a general idea of who the people are that is going to determine who gets voted into office next. I would suggest, and the reason that I did this is not only because I wanted to report on what was going on with the debate itself and to give you guys a general update of what's going on with the election, but to also inspire you guys to participate in the election process, not just from the national, but also from the local level, because you don't want other people that we then have to stereotype and profile that don't even know what they're talking about to be the ones that determine who it is that's going to govern you going forward, because it is important. Listen, I know a lot of y'all don't think that it's important, but it's absolutely important. 100% important. 100% important for you guys to get involved in what's going on and not only just vote, right? But I need you guys to understand the policies, understand who's going to be participating in this election. What is it that they're trying to pass? What do they stand on, right? What is their general position on certain issues that mean the most to you? If you are not going to participate in the election process, because I know that there's a lot of people that say, well, my vote is not going to count. Well, then you're not going to be able to come up here and complain about what it is that's happening in your country, because you're going to let feminists, you're going to let cowboys, you're going to have progressive liberals and progressive Republicans then be determining what's going to happen for you and your children going forward. All right. Educate yourself, participate in the process. I'd rather live with what the bag chasers is going to pick than what it is that these people are going to pick, right? And these are the people from Iowa. All right?